Hey, welcome back. It's been some time since I have done this. Was busy with a friend's wedding and some freelancing projects. But today I'm back with another CodeAlong video. The objective today is to build a protocol primitives for a social network. So currently, as we have seen that there are like a bunch of Web 2 social networks, and therein there is a platform that is like sitting in the middle, and it is channeling all the interactions between the creator and the consumer. Now, in the last few years, and I've been part of Web3 for about 2 years now, there's a bunch of decentralized social networks that have come into picture. One of the most prominent right now being Farcaster protocol and the client Warpcast. There is another one, DSO, which is actually a more of a L1 blockchain optimized for decentralized social. And there was, I think, one more that I was looking at. I'm forgetting the third one. I was reading up on it. DSO, Raptos. Yeah, anyway, there was another third protocol. I'll just add it once I find it. I mean, there must be a bunch more as well, I guess. But primarily, these are the three that I have been researching. It's like ChatGPT removed that particular. Lens protocol. Right. I think this is again a protocol very closely linked to Polygon. This is an L1 in itself, and this is, I think, very closely linked to the entire base ecosystem. Based on this, I was just playing around and trying to figure out one of the things that I personally find is that most of these social networks are, first of all, they are like segregated. They are divided into different types of content. I think that might be by design. Like one is for like text, one is for more of a video and images and so on. Now, so far, the Web2 platforms, what they have done is they have managed to solve for distribution. So you can become a creator in one of these verticals, like you can write witty quips or Twitter threads You can create nice videos, upload it on YouTube. You can create short form content, upload it on Insta, TikTok, etc. And you can have nice photographs that again you can upload on Insta mostly. So these have solved a lot for distribution. But the second interesting facet that has come into picture is one more thing. They are all like optimized for human usage, and they in general discourage bots. See it as a source of spam, etc. Third thing, they are very heavily like dependent on advertisement, and user has no control over what they can see. So these are like all the bunch of and like a bunch of other problems that all the Web2 platforms bring in social media. Now, what I'm looking to build a prototype is something around the lines of the tweet that Balaji in fact put out, I think today itself. AI for creation, crypto for monetization, and social network for distribution. Based on this, can you build a social network which is AI native, like right from creation till consumption, everything has a very native AI feel to it. Like embedding different, and this AI native feel first would be the simplest, like all the creator tools, embedding everything AI, etc. Second would be something along the lines of autonomous agents. By autonomous agents, I mean like in this social network, AI agents, rule-based bots in the current world, and humans, can they act as equal netizens? They have equal status. Like this opens up a bunch of interesting flows such as like virtual influencers or a digital avatar of a human influencer, and lots of new potential monetization as well as interaction opportunities between the user and their followers. I'll not go that into detail, but just giving a brief overview. The second piece is this social network, making it, as far as to puts it, sufficiently decentralized. I think the essence of what this statement is like, can you break down the primitives into what needs to be open plus decentralized that people can build out on, and what needs to be kept like private and client server client type interaction, almost like a Web2 layer. Something like what we need to be kept private is your DMs, your private chats, while whatever you post in public can be created as a open decentralized protocol. What this also does is it enables you to create the primitives that then other devs can build on. Because one of the most beautiful things about Web3 is that it's entirely based on cooperation and collaboration. So what I mean by that is we can have a communication protocol more like a can call it a communication protocol between the different users of a network that we can create as a primitives and just put it out there. It can be used to like basically build and interact with the network. And this is what primarily we will be working with today. And these protocol primitives that fundamentally comprise of a social network. We'll start here and we'll slowly go on about adding different primitives for AI autonomous agents. We'll add primitives for the Web3 layer. Because the third thing that I want to do with this entire project is have a Web3 or a crypto for monetization layer. This is one is your monetization layer. One will be your data and provenance tracking. Hey, I created this image. I sold it to someone else, or someone can bid and buy, and I keep getting royalty. Because currently, like Web3 can also enable this entire royalty layer. So currently, whatever you post on Instagram, you provide Instagram a royalty-free license. To publish and redistribute content. Here it can all be encoded that like whatever you post is, anyone using it can either ask for permission or you can grant permission by default, and from their account you get paid a small amount. And finally, one of the very important primitives, because this whole sector of Web3, one of the biggest challenges is that UX is clunky. So how can we couch this whole thing inside a consumer crypto kind of feel, where users still can just log in either using their, let's say, Instagram account or Gmail, and there is a client built on top of the protocol that can manage everything behind the scenes, like everything around their wallets, tokens, interactions, etc. I think all the primitives are present. All primitives to build this are present. It's about how we can have a very clear vision and execution. So what we'll start with today are these protocol primitives. And let's keep it, and we'll keep it very like simple and rudimentary, because this is first thing is sort of the MVP kind of a layer. What exactly does a social network look like? At its very core, uh, it is comprised of a bunch of entities. This entity in most of the places are primarily users humans, and they have like primarily again two profiles. One is going to be your creator and one is going to be your consumer. Like all you doom scrolling folks are primarily in this part, and the influencers form the ICP for the creator section. Like in Instagram, you can go and convert your personal account into a professional account. That gives you a bunch of different tooling, etc. So now with respect to this entity, let's call it a user account. It will have its bunch of attributes. And a set of actions that it can take. And basically nouns and verbs. Attributes mein, some of the simplest ones are like your account details, settings, security, privacy, etc. Actions would be something like, okay, so in account details it can be something like your name, profile picture, your username, password, and so on. The actions can be like changing any of these things, changing any attribute primarily. So this is purely a particular account, a user, and their attributes, entity and its attribute, entity, attribute, and its values. The second piece that forms this is the interaction between entities. Like there are two different accounts. How they interact with each other. This is where all your follow, like, comment, etc. comes into picture, or even post. So a particular account can post something, follow another account, and do other interactive actions. This creates sort of a linkage between different entities. Now something like follow again can have multiple different types of models. It can be bidirectional, like Facebook, where account A, let's say Alice, would send a friend request, which then Bob will have to approve. Or a unidirectional Twitter-like model. So protocol must be able to support like both of these for any client that is built on top of it. So in essence, the entire thing looks something like this. There are a bunch of user accounts that are created. Initially they like to start this, they will exist. Initially they exist independently and they can like interact. We have to design the primitives for each individual component, and we have to design the primitives for the interactions. Entity and their interactions. These are the two things we have to design the primitive for. With this basic understanding, let's get started.